Now, before we jump right into this video, I do want to start it off by saying, even though I'm going to be kind of criticizing an entire sector of YouTubers, I do want to say that there are some people on YouTube who are genuine and who don't necessarily fall into these brackets that I'm going to be forming for you guys to put people into. Primarily, those are the people who admit when they don't really know something, they explain when they're telling a philosophy that isn't their own, that they, I don't know, maybe read in a book, and they'll also admit their faults, and they'll also talk about, what they're struggling with in their own life, and they won't appear to be this guru online who has it all figured out. Unfortunately, there's also a large amount of YouTubers who employ a fair amount of modesty as a way to kind of cover up their own bullshit. So it can be really difficult to sift through a lot of these people who are trying to share this message online, who ultimately claim that they're here to help you and that they're here for your benefit, when in reality, a lot of them are just here to, first and foremost, benefit themselves. But anyway, let's get right into this, and let's start with the very biggest reason why they are fake. And that is because, as much as they claim that they're here to help you, the truth is, they are on YouTube. Just look at how YouTube is set up. What happens when someone releases a video and say it does well? They get views, they get subscribers, they get likes, they get comments. All of these things relate right back to their ego. The more comments, subscribers, and likes you get, the more bolstered the ego feels. And it's really hard for me to accept that a lot of these people on YouTube who claim they're all spiritual and that they try to live a life free from ego, well, if that's the case, then why the fuck are they building a YouTube channel to begin with? It's one of the most egoic things that I've ever experienced in my life. I've never had a job that gave my ego as much fulfillment as making YouTube videos. Just the very fact that they're making videos contradicts almost everything that you learn when you are on your path of spiritual growth. Which leads me to the second point as to why they appear disingenuine and fake. It's largely because they are often trying to pass off information and quotes and philosophies that they've just read in books that perhaps they've never actually tried to integrate in their life or ever really used. If pretending to be someone that you're really not is going to help you build your channel, is going to help give you more credibility, then you can bet your gosh damn ass that by they I mean people, are going to do it. Because at the end of the day, this is a business. When you are doing this, it is very difficult to separate and to stay unbiased of your channel and of your own spiritual growth and your own knowledge base if it is directly tied into your monetary value, if it's directly tied into the money you make to survive, if it's tied into what you need to eat. Oh, way too itchy. A lot of spiritual YouTubers appear fake and disingenuine, because they are, but the reason that they are is because they have kind of cornered themselves. They've built up this image as if they are this almost guru-like person who's got all these answers, who is so knowledgeable, to the degree where they realize if they were to ever, admit who they really are or what they're really like, well, all of their lies would come floating up to the surface and people would feel taken. They'd lose their audience. And they can't have that because, again, this is their job. They don't want to lose their job. They like doing this. It fuels their ego. It feels good. The comments, the likes, the shares, the subscribers. The bigger they get, the bigger their ego gets, and the ego does not want to let go of something that is such a constant source of acclamation, as something that is constantly giving them that dopamine boost of like, whoa, look at this comment, oh my god, this comment, that comment, oh, you're so great, I love you, you're so amazing, oh my god, your content is fantastic, you saved my life, I share your videos with everybody, I love your videos, oh my god, I would love to meet you, you're so sexy, look at that beautiful, wait, no, I don't have any hair, look at that beautiful shiny bald patch on your head, I just want to kiss it. When the ego is constantly getting all of this recognition for its work and it's constantly being praised, you gotta be fucking kidding me. The ego does not want to let that go. A lot of these people will never be able to be honest because their ego is too big. And I find it absolutely hilarious and ironic how a lot of the people with the biggest ego are the ones who talk about practices and philosophies that are all designed around getting the ego out of the way, seeing past the mind. I think at the end of the day, what it comes down to is we're all just a bunch of fucking assholes. Now, what I find the most interesting and kind of coming full circle here is being someone who has had an enlightening experience themselves. Mind you, I was on a psychedelic. I've never had an enlightening experience that wasn't triggered from being on a mind-altering substance. You got to keep that in mind. Clearly, people who have enlightening experiences naturally are way better than the ones who have them on a compound, because then their ego can take full credit for having that experience, because, that experience isn't even worthwhile unless your ego did it on its own, and oh my god, that makes no sense. By theory, wouldn't having that enlightening experience on a psychedelic be better? Because then your ego can't take full credit for it, and then you can actually say that it came from an outside source that had nothing to do with you? But anyway, that's a whole nother video and a whole nother point. What you learn when you have those experiences is that life really is all about the ego. You come full circle. You start off on this mission of wanting to destroy the ego. You get this enlightening trip, and then you go, oh my god, I was such an idiot the whole time. The whole point of this is to be me. What have I spent my time doing? I could have just figured this out from the beginning. Why couldn't someone just tell me and save me all this hassle that the point of this life is to be an ego? So here I am making a video bashing on these spiritual YouTubers for having these big egos, and the whole point of this whole game really is to experience life from an egoic vantage point, from your own unique view. I mean, you are exactly what the, I know this is cliche, universe wants to do at this exact time. Really try to take that in. You are the embodiment of everything, and so am I, and we're all one, and all of that hippy-dippy bullshit, right? Obviously, this doesn't totally contradict the video, because I'm not just talking about the ego being the point in this video, I'm talking about people being clearly deceptive. And I don't think having an ego and lying and being deceptive necessarily have to go hand in hand. I mean, you can still have an ego and be a good person and not lie. What I think these experiences have really taught me the most is just raising your level of awareness of the fact that you're almost like two things. I mean, there's your essence and then there's your ego. And when you become very clearly aware of the ego, and when you stop lying to yourself, which entails no longer lying to others, when you can be honest about being a total fucking shithead, that's the kind of awareness that I appreciate these experiences have given me. Because even though I still am having an egoic existence, even though I'm still doing YouTube, which is so challenging if you really want to be free from all this, well, at least now I'm aware of my ego's actions. And now that I'm aware of when I'm doing a douchebag thing or when I'm, lying to myself, I can consciously say, no, this is bullshit, you're lying. This is just your ego trying to bolster itself and make itself feel more important than everybody else. Backtrack, erase, delete that, and let's start over from an actual, realistic, and genuinely authentic point of view. And it really does allow you to stop this whole facade and this game of always wanting to compete and be better than everybody else. And really what it's done to me is it's made me feel like the only one that I really need to compete and be better than is myself. I'm sure that sounds cliche too, but there's no one in the world actually that I envy, that I want to be like, because I am on my own journey, and all that I want to do is just be better than I was yesterday, which can be challenging, and you don't always go forwards. And now we're getting into a whole nother video. Let's put this hat back on. Tuck my big ass ears in here. And also in line with, being fake is, look at me. I'm using a wide angle lens for this video because I had to film, in a little room here. And when I go like this, how huge do I look? I mean tall. I'm pretty sure I look monstrous, when in reality I'm extremely short. You just put that wide angle lens in there and whoa, look at these long legs and big ass feet. Look at these big hands. Can't imagine what my dick would look like if I pulled it out when I've got this lens in here. It'd probably look ginormous. But anyway, I didn't want to make this to call out anyone specifically. In fact, if I were to do that, that would just be really showing, my own competitive nature, and it would really just demonstrate me trying to be better than others, which is not my mission. I'm primarily making this video so that you guys can be aware of just how bullshit YouTube is, and take anything that you learn from anybody on YouTube, myself included, with a massive grain of salt, because half of us don't know what the fuck we're talking about, and it's really easy to put on this self-assured voice and to act as though we know. I mean, I'm sitting alone in a room here with a camera. Let's really break it down. If I don't like a scene, I can turn my camera off, I can re-record that scene, and I can make myself look even better than I am. The whole process of video making like this is disingenuous. Or at least it can be disingenuous. It doesn't have to be. But you guys see my point. It is so easy to be a fraud on the internet these days. And really, it just hurts my head and my heart when I see people who are claiming that they come from this place of wanting to help others, and it's just so blatantly obvious that they're just out for number one. And you know what? We all are. We're all out for number one. And I would say that if you don't view yourself as the most important person or thing, I don't know what's the most accurate to call this body and entity that I'm picking skin off of, well, if you don't think you're the most important, there's something wrong with you, because you have to value yourself. You have to take care of yourself. Even if there's other people in your life that you view as more valuable than you, what good are you to them if you're not well looked after? It's that whole thing. I mean, how can you love someone if you don't love yourself first? It always starts and it ends with you. So I'm not saying these people are bad or wrong for looking out for themselves, but there definitely are varying degrees of selfishness, and not everyone is as selfish as the next, or as conniving, manipulative, and inauthentic, disingenuous as another person. There are people on here who are more caring and more loving than others. And I really feel that a lot of the really, truly genuine spiritual people who actually are making videos with the intent to help people and who have true intentions that are coming from their heart, a lot of those guys aren't really getting as much attention or getting as noticed as the people who are faking it, because it's very easy to get attention when you are using specific tactics to get, more video views. It's just that some people on here really don't give a shit about anybody. It's hilarious how spirituality and self-help attracts so many assholes. And it's largely because a lot of people who are attracted to spirituality and who need help fixing their life, well, they're in a very vulnerable place. And it's very easy to lie and manipulate people when they're already vulnerable. The whole notion of needing help and turning to someone online to help you by watching their videos or reading their books or learning from them is set up to take advantage of people who might be weak and who are suffering. And if anything, what I hope you get from this video is that just because I have a YouTube channel and just because people like listening to me talk doesn't mean that I'm any better than you or anybody else. We all come from the same source. I'm no better than anybody. And the more we remind ourselves of that fact, the more caring, compassionate, and empathetic we are going to be of one another, and the better our world is going to get. This world is in such a hideous place because of people feeling like they're more important than others and people putting themselves first. And while we can recognize that the ego does have those needs, it doesn't necessarily mean that we have to always act on them. I'd also like to give a little bit of advice to anyone out there watching who might be a YouTuber who is full of shit. Well, if that's you, it's never too late to turn things around. You can stop being arrogant, you can stop manipulating, and you can stop lying to your audience, and you can be a real, genuine person. But hey, maybe that's asking too much, because again, what are they going to pay if they all of a sudden do that? A lot of them are afraid that they will lose their channel, which is their business, and then how are they gonna, put food in their mouths? Fuck spirituality, fuck people who think they're enlightened, and fuck me. But only if you're an attractive female. I'm practically married. This is what happens when I film videos late at night and I just start rambling. And this world's fucked, isn't it? Why can't we just all be kind to each other, be loving, and get along? I mean, why is that so difficult? People need to wake up, man. This is Adam, Psych Substance, Swim, someone who is me, signing off.